Let's take the ordinary and change it into something extraordinary for our junk journals. Hi everyone, it's Tammy with Frou-frou Studio, and I'm back today to do the letter X in the ABC April 2025 challenge, which is hosted by Margaret at Seven Plaza and Tony at Crafting by Tony. And today, like I said, is the letter X, which they have declared as a wild card day for no other reason that there's not a lot of words that begin with X that have to do with crafting. So we're going to do a little play on words, and we're going to call what we're going to do extraordinary. So I have chosen I'm going to do a journal card and a tag, and hopefully I'm going to get them both done in this video, and I'm going to show you how I take just regular pieces of ephemera and add to it and put it all together and to make something that's really kind of a showpiece to go into your journals. I try to do a couple of pieces in each of my makes that are more detailed and really embellished to the nines, I guess you could say. And so that's what I'm going to do today, is show you how I do some of that, and hopefully I can give you an idea or something a little different that you can work on and include in your journals. So to start off with, I have just a couple of pieces of Tim Holtz paper, and both of these pieces that I'm going to be working with are in the abandoned kit. And I am going to make one tag and one journal card. So for the tag, I'm going to do it first, and I went ahead and did my grit paste work so that it could dry and be dry for the video. So basically all I did was take a Tim Holtz stencil that had some X's on it, and I used the translucent grit paste because I did not have the opaque, but I mixed just a little bit of white gesso in with it, not enough to thin it up too much to, where it wouldn't go through my stencil well, but enough to give it some color so it wouldn't be translucent. And so that's what I've started with, and I've cut this to 3.5 inches by 7 inches because I wanted it to be a substantial tag. Sorry, my throat is still a little bit itchy. I have one antibiotic left, and I think it's going to knock it out and be all better. But I do still have just a tiny bit of an itchy, scratchy throat going on, so bear with me if I'm lose my voice a little bit or have to take a drink. Alright, so for the back side of this, I'm going to use just this tea-dyed paper and put on the back so that you can write on it. You could probably write on that, but it is a little busy for my taste, so I'm going to go ahead and cover it up. Now, I could just leave it and not create a writing space on there, but I like to, because I tend to embellish quite a few of the pages in the journals that I'm working on, if I'm going to put a tag or something on a page that's taken away from writing space, I'd like to put that back in the form of the back of the tag or a journaling card or a flip out or something of that sort. So that's what I'm doing here, is just creating a space to write on the back of this tag. So we'll smush that down and I'll trim it out, and then we'll get the front going. And like I said, I did do the stencil work ahead of time so that it could air dry. Now, I could have dried it with air tool, but for those of you that do not know, if you put a heat gun or anything like that on the grit paste, I can't think of what anything is called, it will bubble. And if you don't mind that look, then by all means go for it. But I didn't want it to bubble up because I wanted you to be able to see that there are X's. Now, why did I choose white? Well, you'll be able to see once I start embellishing this why I left this color. I needed it to combine with some of the other pieces, and I also needed to bring in, and I need to trim my corners before I do that. I needed to bring in some lightness to, oh, I need to empty this, I guess. See if I can get some of these out. I always forget to empty this one because it has the little closed-in door in the front. And I forget that the pieces don't just automatically fall out of there. And then they get too full, and then they start falling everywhere. So I hope everyone is doing well while I'm emptying this in my trash. Here. Okay, I think we're good now. Alright, so I'm going to do the large angle and just chop my corners. And I guess to call Tim Holtz papers ordinary is not truly accurate, because his papers are already pretty extraordinary. But if you do have papers that are just ordinary, then this would be something that you could do to make them really stand out. Okay, so now I'm going to poke a hole in the top. Do I want this big hole? No, I don't, because I want to put in a grommet. So I'm going to do this one. It's too far down. Still too far down. That's better. We'll find the middle, and you, of course, can measure. And then I'm going to use this copper color to get some metal in there. Okay. Oops, I didn't get it smushed enough. There we go. Put those out of the way. Now, I have, this was a ordinary bird, and I do have a video on my channel that shows how I made these. This is was just a regular bird, and you could see on the back how the tail was shaped, but it was all, you know, printed. It's a digital print, and it is by Tales of Ephemera, T-A-L-E-S of Ephemera on Etsy, and she has this wonderful kit of watercolored birds. They're all different colors, and I love the kit. I've used it in several different things. And so I had, in the previous video, cut out several of the birds that their tails were hanging off the back of a limb. And then I ripped different pieces of paper, scraps, and put on the tail so that it gave it a fancy tail. And so I had a couple of these left over, and so I thought I would use this today, and we're going to embellish this tag with some other items. This is just a plain old circle that I cut out of a piece of scrapbook paper that's in a color that matches or coordinates with my background. And then I have this little tiny piece of music. Again, just a little scrap. And I'm going to put it on this circle. And if I go through this and I'm not explaining myself clearly, just leave a comment and ask questions, and I'll be glad to answer them. And this is a little frame. It looks like a stamp, and it's by 49 Market. It's came in one of their flower die cuts. I think it was the yellow set. They have some that are like mixed colors, and then they also have some that are all one color. And I think this particular frame was in the one that had all the yellow flowers. And I'm going to kind of set it on there like that, so the bird's halfway in and halfway out of the frame. So let's get our circle glued down. If I can get my glue to come out. It's got all kinds of gunk on the end of it. Fuzzies. There we go. And the circle is just so the bird's head will stand out a little better against the background, since the background is so busy. And then I'm going to put my frame on. I should have just glued the part that was going to be on the front of the bird. So I'm not going to glue that all the way down yet because I have a piece of cheesecloth that I want to go down here at the bottom. I'm going to use glue stick. I'm just going to put some glue stick down here. Oh, and I also have another piece of music that I want to put down here, just kind of tie it together. So I'm going to put that on there. And then I'm going to put my cheesecloth. And I'm putting cheesecloth down here to tie into this kind of pattern up here. This part that looks kind of like cheesecloth. Alright, so the next thing I have I'll figure out, I'm probably going to trim some of that off, but I wanted to get it on there first. So let's glue our bird down now. I think I want it to go over just a tad. For the most effective look for a focal point, when you're doing something like this, you don't want it to be right in the center. When you're decorating a tag or a journal card or a journal cover or anything like that, you want to divide it, whatever surface you're working on, into thirds in your mind. And you want your focal point to be to one side of that. So you don't want it to be right in the center. So if you were to take this and you were divided into 3 parts, you want your focal point to cover 2 of those parts, but you don't want it to be in the center. So you either want it to be in 2/3 this way or in 2/3 this way. In my opinion, that gives the best look for a focal point. We'll just mash that down a little bit and make sure we get it all stuck down. All right, and now I have this key, and this is a key that my husband actually got me for my birthday. He got me a whole box of them, and they're flat. And so I really like them for journals. But look, is that gonna work? Nope. Because they are flat. And that's a pretty old key, but it's not, it's not a skeleton key by any means. And I'm going to put that down with my 3-in-1. And of course that one is. And I did rub this with a little bit of copper wax. It was more of a flat silver color. But because I put that copper in the top, I wanted this to have kind of a coppery look as well. Get the little glue strings. I can never use this glue without getting it all over me, and I think it's because I hate to get it all over me. So that means I automatically stick my fingers in it. And I'm just going to put it right there, right underneath his feet. And then lastly, I'm going to put these little leaves over here. Somehow. And I have this little paper flower that I have put a brad in. I think I want it like that. So I'm going to break the stem off. Something like that. And then take my glue pen out of my mouth so you can understand me. Because that's going to be hitting that key a little bit, I'm going to use the 3-in-1 again. And you can bend those little flowers up. Okay, and we're going to trim this cheesecloth a little bit. And then I have just a piece of sari silk here. A little scrap piece. I'm going to put that through here. And make our little topper. And this one will be done. There we go. Couple of little embellishments, and we have a pretty fancy little tag there. Now, in my journal, a tag like this would probably go at the beginning of a journal, or it would go in a centerfold, like where your signature center is. That's where I tend to put the more fancy. You could also very easily put this on the cover of a journal, and it would make a really pretty one. Actually, I have a blue cover that is made. I haven't put anything in it yet, but it would actually look really good on the front of that cover and make a really pretty journal. So there you go. There's make number 1. Now, make number 2. We're going to do a journal card, and we're going to use this Tim Holtz paper. And again, I need to back it. What am I going to back this one with? Is this big enough? Yeah, I think it'll be good. It doesn't necessarily have to go through the whole, cover the whole thing. As a matter of fact, it makes it a little more interesting to not cover the whole thing. So, now, I got a choice here because this side is tea-dyed. This side is tea-dyed graph paper. I kind of like this, actually, because it does pull in the colors. So I think I'm going to leave that side up and make that what you write on. I'm getting towards the end of my glue stick. It's gloopy. You get toward the end of these Pritt sticks, and they get a little gloopy, but they're still my favorite. Okay, so let's do it this way. So now we have our journaling card. For this one, I have, let me wipe my fingers off so I'm not messing everything up. Okay, I have a piece of my vintage German scrapbook pieces, German scrap, whatever you want to call those. That has been in my stash, and I've been dying to use her. I think she's beautiful on her own. But we're going to jazz her up a little bit. She is quite fragile, so she's been kind of backed with some book page just to, so I could keep her together until I used her. So we're going to put her on here. Now, see, that's beautiful in itself, but we're going to go further. So I have this card, which is just an ordinary Tim Holtz flashcardy thing. So I definitely need to age it up a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is go across it with some sandpaper. Kind of get that shiny off of it a little. And pay closer attention to the edges so when I ink it, it'll take the ink. And then I'm going to ink it. I'm going to go walnut stain first. And then I'm going to take my vintage photo and kind of go all over. And let's fold it and ink. Put some creases in it. And we might even put a little tear in there. And we might put a little roll in one of the corners. Okay, so now we have created more interest in our little card rather than just a regular old card. The next thing I have is I have some butterflies, and these are all 49 in Market. And I use a lot of butterflies because I love butterflies. If you don't like butterflies and you want to find something else to use, you know, whatever you like or you have. I picked 3 coordinating colors with between what she's wearing and the background colors. And of course I'm doing 3. So where's my other one? There it is. And then I have a bunch of the 49 in Market flowers. I'm going to take just a little bit of the white off of this. I want them to stay white, but I don't want them to be day glow white. This is where we're going to create our kind of mystique look. And then I also have some yellow to bring in the yellow that's on her clothes plus in the background. So we're going to put those on there. And I want that to rest like right on her face. And then I have some others that we're going to fill in. So while I am inking, I'm going to go ahead and ink those as well, so I can have them ready. Oh, and I meant to, I've got a cog here, and I meant to, before I started the camera, cut some more of these. Okay, so now we need to put everything together. So these leaves are going to go up here, and we're going to do white flower and a yellow flower and another white flower. Now remember, this one's a journal card and not a tag, so I won't be clipping the corners. Alright, and then we're going to put, I need to scoot this down, this butterfly here, and this butterfly here, and then this butterfly here. And then I want to incorporate my cog, and I really wanted to do more than one. Maybe I could use real ones. Not real ones, but you know what I mean. Metal ones. Let me grab those real quick. Okay, let's see. I don't have any really big ones. Well, that one's shaped like a heart. No, they're not going to stand out enough. Because I don't have any that are big enough. What about, I could also do like a gauge. I just want something kind of steampunky. Without going too steampunky, if that makes sense. Okay. So like the black one, I have a half of one here. I can't grab it. Grab it. There we go. Can't get it where I want. Nope. That ain't it. That ain't it. I don't mind that. No, I definitely like the black one better. I have this one. It's a lot bigger. I don't think it needs to be that big. What about, did I try that one already? Yeah, I don't like that one. Nope. I've got that weird little thing. It's too big, I think. Yeah. Alright, so I think it's going to be this one. I think I like it right there. I do believe. Yep, that's what we're going to do. So the only reason I like this one is it says steam on it. But I feel like it's too gray. We could put it up there. And put this flower there. But then I feel like I need something down here. Or do we want to put the black one up here? See, this is what happens when I change from my original plan. Nope, I like the one that says steam definitely better up here. Okay, let's see if I see anything else. Kind of like that there too. Okay. Now that I've killed enough of your time, or do I want to put that there? Nope, I like it underneath. Okay, so let's trim this. ink it. And we'll start gluing some stuff down. See if that was... If I had a couple more of those, I'd put those on there too. Maybe I should just... Did I have it? I thought I had a couple left from my make yesterday, but if I do, I can't find them. I don't know what I did with them. Okay, so we're going to start with this guy because we know he's definitely down here on the bottom. And then we're going to go up here to the top. And get those things in place. I'm going to put a little bit of vintage photo on this. Kind of get rid of that gray color. Okay. Sorry, I'll glue this stuff as quickly as I can, so you're not just watching me glue. Oops, about threw my glue across the room then. It's beautiful here today. It's like 78 degrees, sunny. Okay, now let's glue her down. Have to be really careful with her because, like I said, she is very fragile. Being glued down to a page is gonna save her. Okay, and then we'll put these here. So my point in doing this is the beauty of her, to me, is in her eyes. And so by kind of encircling her with other things and enclosing her, I guess I should say, it brings the attention to where I want everyone to focus on when they look at this card, and that is her eyes. And that's why I'm bringing the other elements in to kind of enclose her face, if that makes sense. That's why I want to bring these flowers up onto her face. Okay, this one's going to be a bear. Might take me a minute to put glue on the back of this one. I love these die cuts, though. They are so delicate and intricate, and they pop out of the, you know, the whole sheet, the overall sheet, so easily. And, yeah, I'm going to have to reorder soon because I love them so much. And they're good for just about anything in any kind of time of the year because you can get them in so many different colors and different flowers. And a lot of them come with, they have butterflies in with them. These are $49 in market butterflies, but it is the actual butterfly set, which I also love. Okay, and then we want our yellow flowers. And tear that off about right there. And then we have our little sign here. I'm wondering, do I want to put a couple brads? I think I will. I think I'm going to put some brads. I may do the opposite corners. So one here and one here, because I don't want to, oh, that was pretty, wasn't it? Made it grungier than I wanted to. I don't want to, well, it may not matter. Start to say I don't want to cover up the number, but I think when I put my butterfly there, it's going to anyway. No, I can make it where it won't. I'll just scoot it over a little bit this way. Okay, so let's get a couple brads. Luckily, that one's got a big enough head that it won't. You can't see where I ripped it. Like a dork. All right. Yep. Put it right there, and again I'm going to use my 3-in-1, and I didn't put my pen in my glue, so it's probably going to be clogged up. So let me do that real quick. Another thing that you can do, which I did not do on this one, and or the other one, is stamping. Normally I do some stamping in the background, but Tim Holtz paper is so pretty, a lot of times it doesn't need anything extra on it. I'll go ahead. No, I can't. I sort of say I'll go ahead and use that one since it's open, but I can't because I got to get these little bitty antennae here. Okay. Now, I feel like I need to round the corners because may take it's not the right kind of leaf for that flower. No, we don't need that. Yeah, I think it needs rounded corners. So, we get 1/2 inch. And I still want to put cogs on here. And I want to get that little white. There we go. I got it, I think, now. It's really bothering me. You probably can't even see it, but I can see it. Alright, so do I want some stamping right there? Like a little scripty bit, maybe. Let's do a little scripty bit in potting soil or crywheel. I really want a cog to go right there, but not this particular color. But we will leave it for now because I don't have it. We may end up adding it at some point. So I'm going to put some scripty bit on that. Yep. All right. So there's that one. And you can see we just took something kind of ordinary pieces and put them together and made a really nice. If I take a metal one, see, I'm still thinking. Because it's driving me crazy. What about the one that had the heart? No. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, we're leaving it for now. At some point I may come across something that I want to use, but I don't know what that is right now. So there we go. There's our card, our journal card. And what do I do with the tag? Here is the tag. So that's our ordinary to extraordinary make for the wild card day of April 2025. And we just got a couple more days, guys. Couple more days. I'm not sure what I'm doing tomorrow. I know what I'm doing for Z, which you would think that it would be the other way around, but it's not. It's not. So there's my X. I got this at, I don't know if you all watch American Pickers, but I got this at the antique archaeology store in Nashville. I've been there several times, and they had these last time I went, and so I got one to put in my craft room because I thought it was cool. So anyway, that's a little bit about nothing. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if you guys turn something ordinary into the extraordinary, please tag me in your post. I would love to see it. I'd love to see other people create things that that are a little out of the box, because I'm a little out of the box and I don't mind. So I'll see you guys back tomorrow. We're going to do a remake, relax, revisit video, and we'll also be doing the letter Y. And yeah, that's all I've got going on so far this week that I know of. I mean, I'll be doing my regular videos, but yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Everybody have a great evening. Bye.